Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. There's a book out there somewhere which I've heard about, but I haven't read yet. Hopefully, when I get around to reading it, then I'll have lots more to say to you here. The book is called, and you can tell really, and that's the subject of what I want to talk to you today about. It's called Against Elections, that elections having to pander to public opinion regularly, that it forces rule. It doesn't force them, but it because of these regular elections, leaders tend to adopt policies which may not be in the public interest. There's a verse of the Quran which the verse is وَإِن تُطِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يُضِلُّكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. If you just follow all the time majority opinion, يُضِلُّكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, then they're going to divert you from the path of Almighty Allah. So I was reminded of this with the recent election that took place on Thursday in Great Britain. And it was a by-election in Uxbridge, which interestingly was the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson's constituency. And now he's left Parliament, then there had to be a by-election there. And against all expectations, the ruling Conservative Party of Boris Johnson won that election. And then afterwards, it transpired that the reason they won that election was because of an unpopular, I suppose, policy of the Labour Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, who has introduced a ultra-low emission zone. So, and Uxbridge is going to be brought into this ultra-low emission zone, which means that any car which is emitting obnoxious greenhouse gases throughout London, including in the borough of Uxbridge and South Ruislip, where the election took place, would be liable to have to pay a certain amount of money every week. And so this policy was unpopular because people think, we're going to have to pay money and so this policy was unpopular. Now, what should be happening, because this obviously is a good policy, because there's international agreements and everybody has agreed that to become carbon neutral and to reduce carbon emissions and to reduce greenhouse gases, and obviously the motor cars are the main culprit here of emitting greenhouse gases and gases which cause not only heating up of the atmosphere, but also cause a lot of diseases and exacerbate things like asthma and stuff. So everybody has agreed. It's a universally agreed policy that one's aim should be to become carbon neutral and to have clean air. This is something which is absolutely agreed. So in this case, what both parties should be doing, the Labour and the Conservative parties, is it's not the Conservatives, but Labour particularly should be explaining to people, why this is a good policy, why we have to have this policy. And we know that it's difficult for people to have to pay this amount of money every week, but there's alternatives out there. You can go by public transport, you can walk to the local shops, you can get on a bike, you can do other things. There are alternatives to actually running a car which is emitting obnoxious gases and smoke and spoiling the atmosphere. So what we need in a case like this is good, strong political leadership. And we need, the people are promoting these policies, to explain these policies to the electorate, in a forceful way, in a persuasive way. This is what a political leadership is all about. And what one needs from the other party is not opposing such policies, but supporting them, or saying, okay, we would do it a little bit differently, but this is basically a good policy, but we might do it a little bit differently, perhaps present it in a different way. But this is absolutely destructive for one party to sort of be looking for policies, even though they might be good policies, which will which may create division amongst the opposite party, and for the other party to be abandoning or to be considering to abandon good policies because they might be unpopular with the electorate. If they are good policies, then one should pursue them, one should support them, and one should explain them to the electorate. And this is what political leadership is all about. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.